Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Real Madrid shortlist Liverpool and Chelsea stars as part of new midfield transfer targets. Real Madrid's pursuit of a new midfielder is now entering an intriguing phase, one which is now taking them to the Premier League. Los Blancos has identified several Premier League names capable of elevating project at the Santiago Bernabéu, according to seasoned sports journalist Marc Bruss. Madrid, who missed out on Martin Zubimendi who opted for Arsenal instead, has turned his attention toward Liverpool's Alexis Mac Allister and Chelsea's Enzo Fernandez, two midfielders already seasoned in Europe's toughest arenas. The numbers and influence of the two players are already clear, as Alexis Mac Allister has become a central figure at Liverpool since joining in 2023 and has made 104 appearances across competitions while scoring 14 goals and providing 14 assists, which clearly shows his importance at the Anfield. His intelligent positioning and passing rhythm have turned him into a vital part of Liverpool's structure, and his composure in tight spaces shows his calm authority, which was once shown by the club's finest midfield generals who thrived under pressure and dictated matches with quiet control. Enzo Fernandez, who joined Chelsea in January 2023, has similarly become the heartbeat of his side and has featured 125 times and contributing 43 direct goal involvements. His standout performance came in the 2025 Conference League final, where his opening goal against Real Betis helped Chelsea capture European silverware. Alonso is also monitoring Crystal Palace's Adam Wharton and AZ Alkmaar's Kees Smit. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our second news is Fabrizio Romano confirms Liverpool transfer plans for England forward. Liverpool strengthened their attack with the additions of Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak over the summer. Sporting director Richard Hughes was happy to break the British transfer record twice, paying up to £116 million for Wirtz and £125 million for Isak, but there are signs the Reds won't stop there. Next summer there could be even more additions in the front line, with potential replacements for Cody Gakpo and Mohamed Salah looming into focus. In the case of Salah's successors, it's been reported that Michael Ollis is emerging at the top of the list. And providing cover on both sides of the attack could be Antoine Semenyo. Liverpool tipped to sign Anthony Gordon. There remains the possibility, however, that Liverpool could go back in for an old favourite in the shape of Anthony Gordon. The 24-year-old came close to moving to Anfield ahead of the 2024-25 season when his club Newcastle were in a spot of PSR bother. But owing to sales made elsewhere, the England international stayed put and even signed a new deal. Gordon has been in tremendous form for the Magpies in the Champions League this season, with 3 goals in 2 games. He blotted his Premier League copybook with a red card against Liverpool, however, and is still waiting for his best form in the league. Many clubs admire Gordon, admits Romano. That said, Gordon could well emerge as a Liverpool target in the coming months. Do Arsenal and Liverpool admire Anthony Gordon after previous rumours? Italian transfer supremo Fabrizio Romano was asked for his recent GiveSport newsletter. Many clubs admire Gordon, but there's nothing at all ongoing now, full focus on Newcastle. 100%, Romano replied. Right now Gordon will be focused on getting back to his consistent best for Newcastle, and who knows, next summer he could well be targeted by Richard Hughes once again. He has scored 25 goals in 113 games for the Geordies since signing from Everton in 2022. Gordon has provided another 25 assists in his time at St James' Park, emphasizing his credentials as one of the top division's creative forces. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our third news is Jamie Carragher says social media has given him the answer to who Liverpool should sign. Liverpool went big in the summer transfer window. Nobody expected it from the Anfield outfit, but by the end of the summer, they'd spent the most money out of any Premier League team. Indeed, the number of sales they made helped offset the total amount spent, but at the end of the day, Arne Slot and Richard Hughes still spent over £450 million on new recruits. Many fans, pundits, and journalists all expected Liverpool to be untouchable this season, but now that we're a few games into the campaign, it's clear that Slot could still do with another left winger at Liverpool. These are also the thoughts of Jamie Carragher, who has just shared how social media helped him come to this conclusion. Jamie Carragher says Liverpool still need to sign a world-class left winger. Although Slot has said on several occasions that Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, Alexander Isak, and Rio Ngumaha can all be used as left wingers if needed, they still need another specialist player in that position. At the moment, Cody Gakpo is clearly the Dutchman's first choice, but after his last few games for Liverpool, it feels like he's half the player he was last season. Indeed, the fact that Luis Diaz has been sold to Bayern Munich should have allowed the former PSV man to thrive, but in reality, he's just got worse. And now, while speaking on the Stick to Football podcast, Carragher shared his thoughts on how social media helped him conclude that a world-class left winger is still needed at Anfield. There's an account I follow on social media. He's a Liverpool fan and he puts clips of Kenny, Hansen, Souness. 10-minute clips of games, and I saw one of Barnes against Manchester United in 1989, he said. I think of where Liverpool are right now, and I think they could probably do with a world-class left winger. I'd say John Barnes. Liverpool could end up signing Malik Fofana or Bradley Barcola in the future. After Diaz was moved on, throughout the entirety of the summer transfer window, there were rumors about whether Liverpool would end up signing a new winger. And, despite links with Malik Fofana, Bradley Barcola, and even Real Madrid's Rodrigo, nothing came to fruition with Slot going for Isak and Ekitike instead. However, now that we're a few games into the season and Fofana's agent has come out and said he belongs at Liverpool, it feels like the Reds signing a new winger could certainly be on the horizon. Barcola hasn't extended his Paris Saint-Germain contract yet either, which could mean that a deal is there to be made. Indeed, it's unlikely that any new signings will be made until at least next summer now, but the thought that yet another world-class attacking talent could eventually be brought in is mind-blowing. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer news, updates, and expert reactions. Our fourth news is, Kenny Dalglish told me Liverpool were too big for me, that's why I left after just 6 months. Former Liverpool defender Paul Konchesky has opened up on his ill-fated 6 months at the club. Paul Konchesky has revealed how his disappointing spell at Liverpool came to a conclusion. The left-back joined the Reds in the summer of 2010 for a fee of £3.5 million. He followed manager Roy Hodgson to Anfield, having reached the Europa League final together with Fulham the previous season. However, both Konchesky and Hodgson had an ill-fated period at Liverpool. Hodgson was sacked from his post after just 6 months, with the Reds winning just 7 of 20 Premier League games and languishing 12th in the Premier League table. Liverpool legend Kenny Dalglish returned to replace Hodgson in the hot seat, and it led to the end of Konchesky's brief stay. He was loaned to Nottingham Forest for the second half of the 2010-11 season before completing a permanent move to Leicester City the following summer. He made a total of 18 appearances for the Reds. What's been said? Speaking on podcast Under the Cosh, Konchesky confessed that Dalglish told him he was a good player, but being at a club the size of Liverpool was too big for him. The ex-West Ham and Tottenham Hotspur defender said, I thought for the first 6 months, I did all right when Roy was there. Then Roy left, Dalglish came in and I went to Forest, in and out. I thought he, Hodgson, would do well working with him for the last 3 years. I look back now, but maybe that step every day with big players was too much for him. Joe Cole was in the same predicament as me, and maybe got tarnished with the same brush. Being from London, what I would say is I learnt loads and loved my first 6 months there, being at as big a club as big as Liverpool and what the pressures bring. The pressures are different and the expectations are different day in, day out. Kenny was really good, to be fair. He was like, I think this football club might be a bit big for you, but you are a good player and deserve in the Premier League, but I need to keep the team happy for whoever comes in as manager after me, after initially being appointed caretaker manager. That's why I left to go to Forest because, probably again, I was 31 to 32 and wanted to play, and with that conversation, I was probably not going to play. I think Glenn Johnson ended up playing at left back and someone else came in at right back. It was really tough because what do I do? stay and not play and be miles away from my family and unhappy, or just go and play and be happy again? How Liverpool move transpired. Konchesky also revealed that he almost never joined Liverpool because Mark Hughes, who replaced Hodgson as Fulham boss, did not want him to leave. I went out to knock on Mark Hughes' door and said, "Listen, you've played for the biggest clubs in the world, Barcelona. Stay tuned for all the latest Liverpool and Premier League transfer." Our fifth news is Liverpool among multiple suitors for under-20 World Cup starlet, January deal deemed possible. Liverpool are reportedly among a multitude of clubs keeping close checks on one of the stars of the ongoing under-20 World Cup in Chile. The Reds' forward line underwent a significant revamp during the summer transfer window for various reasons, and the time will soon come when we have to say a tough goodbye to one of our current attackers. Mo Salah will be 35 at the end of his current contract in June 2027, and if he were to leave Anfield at that point, sporting director Richard Hughes will be faced with the crucial task of recruiting a long-term successor on the right flank. Antoine Semenyo and Michael Ollis have been touted as prospective transfer targets for Liverpool, who are also casting an eye on a younger name who could potentially be molded into a crown jewel on Merseyside. Liverpool among many suitors for Argentine gem Ian Subiabre. According to TBR Football, the Reds are keeping close checks on Ian Subiabre, who starred for Argentina in their run to the Under-20 World Cup final, in which they'll face Morocco on Sunday night. However, the competition for the River Plate forward signature is fierce, with Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Monaco and RB Leipzig all showing an interest, while Manchester City have already spoken to the 18-year-old. TBR's chief correspondent Graham Bailey is expecting the teenager to make the move to Europe at some point next year, saying, "Speaking to scouts and clubs, the belief is now that we see Subiabre move in 2026. It is likely in the summer, but don't be surprised if someone gets a deal done in January." Could Subiabre emulate some legendary Argentine forwards? Subiabre has netted twice for Argentina so far at the Under-20 World Cup, in which they've won every match en route to the final, Transfermarkt, and the tournament has served as a launching pad for some of the country's greatest ever players. Sergio Aguero, Lionel Messi and the late, great Diego Maradona have all won the Golden Ball prize when they participated in the competition in their youth, giving the River Plate youngster some distinguished role models to try and emulate. Capable of playing anywhere across the forward line, the 18-year-old is understandably inexperienced at senior level. He's made just 19 first-team appearances in his career so far, scoring only once, so naturally there's plenty of scope for development. Subiabre will turn 19 on New Year's Day, so he's eligible to move directly to Europe if, as seems likely, he's snapped up for a transatlantic transfer in 2026. He'd be unlikely to contend for a starting berth in Arne Slot's starting 11 straight away if Liverpool were to sign him, but it's plausible that he could be loaned out to gain further senior experience before returning to possibly take on the challenge of succeeding Salah in the long term. Our last news is Liverpool receive major transfer boost after shock Crystal Palace announcement. Mark Guehi has told Crystal Palace he will not sign a new deal at the club. England centre-back Guehi almost joined Liverpool on transfer deadline day last month, but Palace pulled the plug at the last minute. It meant the Eagles missed out on a sizable fee and, with Guehi now in the final 12 months of his contract, boss Oliver Glasner has revealed the defender has already informed the club this will be his last season at Selhurst Park. Glasner told reporters, "I think Mark has already told us that he doesn't sign a new contract, so he will leave next year. The club wanted him to stay. They offered Mark a new contract, but he said, 'No, I want to make something different,' and that's normal. And for us, it's how we can deal with this situation. What is the best way to get this next step done? And that's all about how we are talking together." Guehi has played 167 times for Palace since he joined from Chelsea in 2021 and captained the club to FA Cup success in May. The 25-year-old could be sold in January or leave on a free at the end of the season. Guehi can agree a pre-contract with foreign clubs from January 1st. Slot, meanwhile, admits they are well aware of the scrutiny on his side after 3 successive defeats, but does not believe the players wake up at night worrying about it. After reeling off 7 straight wins, they then lost 3 times in the week before the international break. Slot admits having almost 2 weeks without being able to work with his players has had positives and negatives, but as they seek to avoid losing 4 in a row for the first time since November 2014, he does not believe it is weighing heavily on his squad. "These players might need me, but I don't think they need me to tell them what has happened," he said ahead of the visit of arch-rivals Manchester United, against whom they are looking to set a club record 10 matches without defeat. "Results don't lie. If you lose 3 in a row we have to do better. But I think these players that have experienced so many things don't wake up at night thinking, oh, we lost 3 times. We need to be aware of that, and we are aware of that, and we need to react to that, but we have to give the same reaction if we win 3 times in a row and Manchester United is on the fixture list. But maybe if you lose 3 times you are hoping for that spark or that 1 or 2% more, not only from us but from our fans on Sunday." Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.